Joy Adler. The solution is in the solace.
It's in the Solace, Dan.
That's what we're talking about today, folks, friends, neighbors, Energy D podcast family. We've got Bernadette Yao back, and if you didn't see her on our very first episode, well, that's a great gift for you to go back and watch. But she has really flourished last year and a half or so, and she's got a new song out, Solace. But she's also she's out there, she's a film composer. What the?
Yeah. Yes.
Great for this film, The Flower Keeper, and it premieres this March 27th out in California, in Palm Springs. She's going to be there with her family. That's going to be amazing. I can't believe it. And she was
Oh, yeah.
gracious enough to come back, share the story of how that all happened. This new song, Solace, that she has out. We'll put the graphic up and a link to that in the notes. And then she kind of walks you through the process, but wonderful to have her back with us.
So great. And folks, I want to say, first of all, she put us in a trance. Like I can barely speak, but you don't want to miss the sound healing in the moment experiential that Bernadette Yao creates for us as the composer extraordinaire. She reminds us that we can all make sound. We're all sound healers. And she was the one that was chosen by the Emmy-nominated filmmaker Nora J. Luong to compose the score for this new film that's coming out, The Flower Keeper. We can hardly wait to see it. And it's a beautiful affirmation of her path, as a sound healing musician. But you're going to learn on Energy D that she's always longed to do this since she was a little girl. So we can't wait for you to watch and listen and enjoy this episode of Energy Diagnostics Podcast with Bernadette Yao, BernadetteYow.com.
Welcome to the Energy Diagnostics Podcast. Join award-winning educator and sound healer Joy Adler and musician and teacher turned energy healer Dan Zavadil as they dive deep into the world of alternative healing, music, and sound therapy. With over 30 years of holistic health expertise, Joy brings wisdom and heart to every episode. And Dan, from the classroom and healing table to playing bass on the Today Show, he bridges rhythm and restoration. Tune in for inspirational conversations with masters in the field of transformation who share tools to empower your journey of self-discovery and wellness through music for healing.
And we're back. We've got another fabulous guest, Joy Adler, today here on Energy D Podcast. Our friend returning. Who do we have?
Bernadette Yao. She was our first guest on Energy Diagnostics Podcast. We are so honored. She's growing, evolving, changing. She's got new things in the works. So, of course, we had to say, hey, Bernadette, wanted to tell our viewers and listeners what you've been up to. And we've got some amazing things to talk about. And if you go to BernadetteYow.com, I was blown away by this sentence, Dan. Music that moves energy and inspires healing. That says it all.
That's it.
That's it. Just go to the cart.
That's it.
Again. You're done. It's a one-stop shot sentence.
Oh, boy. Yeah, so we have Bernadette here. Just a little bit about her, if you are not familiar with her and her work, from her early days with 4-track recorders. I remember those days. To mastering now in the full digital world as you are. Bernadette has followed a lifelong dream of composing music that tells powerful stories and evokes deep emotion. She was recently chosen by Emmy-nominated filmmaker Nora J. Long to compose the score for the documentary short, The Flower Keeper, a beautiful affirmation of her path as a sound healer musician. And after completing the score, she went on to compose her single Solace, which is available now, a deeply personal piece born from processing grief and the chaos in the world. With decades of experience in music and video production, Bernadette creates immersive, transformative soundscapes, and we're so glad to have you back with us today, Bernadette. Welcome back.
To be here. Thank you.
Yay! Well, we can't wait to talk about all the things that you've been doing. See, You know, Bernadette, you are a wonder. You represent the ever evolving human being. What Dan and I were really loving is, and we could feel it when you were, posting about Solace and this new project that you were on. It was palpable. It was exciting. It's like you're birthing yourself anew. You're creating these projects, and then to discover that this has always been something that you longed to do, and marrying that with here's this a documentary filmmaker that really wanted a sound healer like yourself. Perfect pairing. We got to ask, how did that all come about?
First of all, thank you both of you for inviting me back. You're both amazing, and congratulations on the success of your podcast. It's
Thank you.
wonderful.
Thank you.
It was very interesting. It was this summer that I got an email from the director saying that she's looking for a sound healer for a documentary short, and asked me if I would be interested in talking with her. She was from Florida, so I have not met her in person yet. So I read the letter. I had never done a film score before. I've been composing music since I was young, and I've always thought, like, even when I was like 10 or 11 years old, I'd walk down our street to go up to my best friend's house, and my eyes would always be like a camera. I would look around and I would hear music in my head, and I just kind of pretend that I was shooting a music video. This is back in 1970. There were no music videos in those days, but I just thought like that. I would just look around, and I'd hear the music, and then I'd be at her house. They had a piano, and I'd start playing and making up stuff and just fooling around. It was kind of fun for me. But I've never really done something like this. This is my digital audio workstation. It's Logic. And you can see right here, that's the film. So that rolls with all the SMPTE codes, which is the standard time code for videos. And then I can write to it, and she would give me cues that she wanted me to write to, like this scene I would like. She was very good at describing it. I think I'm jumping way ahead, but anyway, so that's how I was able to learn, and I was learning as I was doing it. So
For sure.
thank goodness for YouTube and all these other online things. So I was scrambling. So I said, she gave me 3 months to do this. And the first month was just like, I had to dive right back in, because before this, I was just doing sound bowls and workshops. I was doing live stuff out there. I really wasn't recording that much. I recorded a single before that, and the albums way before that. And then I got into art, and I mentioned that in the first episode. I was drawing and sketching in my sketchbook. I'm not any good, but I'm not bad either. I just wanted to express in another medium. And I just thought it was a fun way to discover that beginner's mind at my age. I'm in my 60s, so I really needed something that could be new for me to discover how I approach a medium. And I think doing art and sketching was something so new for me, using crayons and things. It's like I was like a kindergartner again. And I think it woke up something in my brain. It allowed me to just express what I was feeling, and in a way that I hadn't thought of before, through drawing and moving. So I had stepped away from doing this for 2 years. And it was all based on, it was the pandemic, the COVID, my mom passed away. There were a lot of things going on that I just kind of put that aside. And this is more my profession. So it was a little more risky to go back and do this when I was feeling unsteady, basically, and burnt out, as I had mentioned before. And then Nora, the director, just got me out of the blue. She said she went on Google and found my website, and we talked. And then I told her I've never done this before. She goes, "That's all right. I've heard your music. If you want to just send me something, I can plug it in there." But I decided, no, I'm gonna do the real thing. I'm gonna get the video up there, and I know about SMPTE codes. I worked in television when I was young, and all the way up to my 40s, I was working in production. So, but on the other way, just doing associate producing and all that kind of stuff, and not the music. But I have to mention that I really got into putting music into video scenarios when I worked on Martha Stewart's first show for PBS, which is Holiday Entertaining with Martha Stewart. I think it came out in 1984. So I was the PA at the time. When we were in post-production, they needed some music. So I didn't write anything, but I went to a record store and flipped through the albums. And I remembered that Vivaldi, it was like a guitar concerto. It was a very famous piece. And I picked that and gave it to the editor, and they used it. And ever since then, while I was working there, the president of GBH would call me and say, I'm forwarding a call. Someone wants to know what music you use for Martha Stewart's thing. And then later on, I noticed like Crisco oil or something. They did baking commercials, and they would use the exact same.
Your sensibility is a compliment, right? If only you could get residuals for that, but you know.
It was kind of lit up something in me, like, wow, this worked, you know. But that was a while ago, and I didn't think of myself as a composer. I was always writing, always improvising, but I doubted myself. And I didn't share a lot at all. I shared it with just close friends, my husband, and that was it. And then it was really when I went to the Barbara Brennan School of Healing that I started playing music with other people and started to discover that our creative process is so important. Dr. Brennan always said that. And that just sparked, we were drawing, we were doing movement, and we were listening to music, and things just started. I could start hearing music in my head, and I had to just start writing. And that's how it all started. To this day, some of my friends still don't know that I compose music because I don't talk about it. They know I do the sound bowls and stuff. But in a way, that's kind of composing music in a way, you know. And even when I did Solace, I could hear the music coming through the same way I do when I do the sound bowls. It's, you know, it's kind of spontaneous in a way. But
So directors, producers, documentary filmmakers, which we've had some on here, right,
Yeah.
Dan?
Yep.
Fiona Duncanson, right? You know, our Barry Rubinow. And it was it's interesting because I attended Barry Rubinow's workshop for there were so many great filmmakers there. The biggest conversation was about where they got their music and sound. Not for nothing. Are you up for doing more film? Are you up for composing?
worse.
Ah!
I'm addicted now. And
Okay.
I'm so thankful to this director for plucking me out and asking me to do this. And she took a risk. You know, she really didn't know what I was going to give her. And I gave her a lot more, as you can see, than she probably asked for. And she's going to use what she needs in the film. That's why I haven't seen it, because she had another editor that will use and
the film.
enhance.
Now,
Yeah.
is that imminent to premiere, Bernadette?
Yes.
Tell us more.
It was accepted and will be premiering at American Documentary and Animation Film Festival in Palm Springs. It'll premiere on March 27th, which is a Friday night at 7:30 p.m.
Well, that's the place to be on Friday, March 27th at 7:30 Pacific Central. Hello.
Yes, and nice and warm there, I hear.
One would hope it's warm somewhere.
Now, you're going to be attending the premiere, I hear tell. Is that
Yeah.
true?
Yeah. We're flying out to see my daughter in San Diego, and then my daughter, my husband, and her husband will drive up to Palm Springs together and spend.
Road trip, Dan, in
Awesome.
your old stomping grounds.
That's it. Love it out there. That's
It's the only way I
fabulous.
can see the film right now. So she's going to try and put it in some other film fest. It's a story about a young woman who decided to leave her corporate job and take a risk and start a organic flower farm in Florida, and goes through about, several years of tumultuous decision making and things happening like hurricanes that just flattened out her crops, and how she discovered her perseverance and was able to make a success of it. And in this flower farm, they do yoga with the flowers. They have a sound healer that goes there to play the bowls. And this is in Florida near Sarasota. So I think the director's vision, she said, in the future is to have viewings where people are laying on yoga mats and they're hearing the film score, the sound healing, but also watching the story and the flowers. and hearing what the farmer has to say. And so I'm very interested. I don't know if this theater is going to have us on yoga mats or if we're going to be sitting in seats, but she thinks that's something in the future that she wants to do. The director's very environmentally conscious and really wants to help the planet and the environment. And I'm very, very happy that she took this risk to do this, because I don't know many other people that have done this.
Wow, that's amazing. They should have a viewing over at Kripalu, right? They got that beautiful giant
Wouldn't
room and
Ooh.
have that, and then they have the screen up top. Listen,
The Om Room.
the home room.
I love that room. Dan, that's a great idea. I will mention
Book
that to
it.
her when I see her.
I mean, where that's gonna so many people, right? In the heart of the
Yes.
Berkshires, people come up from the city,
Yeah.
right down the road. Come over for that. Let's
Well,
let's
come on.
go. Let's go.
Let's red carpet the Om Room for
Yeah.
a premiere in the Berkshires, right, Bernadette?
Yeah.
Now, this is tremendous. So I got to go back for a moment because
Okay.
number one, what I'm hearing you say is this is almost like a film about the metaphor of life, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Resiliency and the storms of life that happen and pursuing your dreams amidst the challenges. Like that really was a standout to me. I'm like, this is life itself. This is a hero and a heroine's journey through one woman's big risk. And then she is guided towards you, and you took a big risk. Little did she know, if you put it in Bernadette's hands, it's as good as done. It's a done deal. She's like, sure, I can. Oh, and not only that, but now I'm inspired to do a whole new piece. And oh my gosh, right? The rest is history. But it also, the second point that was a standout was clearly you know who you are and you're in alignment with who you are, because like, how do opportunities just come to us where it's just such a hand in glove fit?
Right. I'll tell you, thank you for saying that. I was so inspired by the director, and Sophie is the name of the farmer. They really showed me their perseverance and their faith in what they were going to do in this project, which they didn't have anything. When she sent me the film, it was just voice and ambient sound of the garden. And the music has to add so much emotion and everything. So the more I did this and watched Sophie, the more I just felt so connected with her, even though I've never met her in person, just by watching these beautiful edited pieces that the director did. I mean, she seemed to edit musically, and I told her that. I was like, it just fits with the phrasing that I had to do. I was so inspired by the two of them. For them to be, they're much younger than me. And so for them to be able to accomplish this, I'm just like, hats off to, it took me 60 years to finally say, okay, I am a musician and I write music and I'm a composer. It's you know, that imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
I mean, all creatives have it, right? All of us have it, but it was hanging heavy over me for a long time, especially with the composing. That's why I didn't talk about that. But they just watching how they have created something with their lives I felt very connected just doing this, even though I was in Boston and they were down in Florida. So it's nice to have, modern technology. I don't have to be in a studio with them or doing anything like that. But what happened with this film score was, as I was starting to learn, I discovered, I don't know if you know this, Dan, because I know you produce music, right? Or you do some VSTs. Virtual sample technology. It was actually inspired by Hans Zimmer, the great film composer. And he has, like, if you ever watch his documentaries, he has like a whole wall, I mean, all the way down of synthesizers, just all the way down. But he wrote for orchestra, but he needed to record the musicians, like, let's say a cello and just a bow, just one note, and then another note, and then one with vibrato, one just legato, and, so one pizzicato, just doing that. And then they would put this all in these softwares that I can purchase. The royalties would go to the producers, the performers, but it's like note by note. So that's how I discovered that with this film score, was I was able to put like a whole orchestration in there and strings and all that. I don't know if the director will use it, but it was fun for me to just, to do that. I've never done that before. And it felt really like this is something I really want to do, because when I went into college for music, I was a classical musician. So I played piano and I sang classically. And then I sang with the Boston Symphony for many, many years. And I would sit in the choir right behind the French horns or behind the percussionists. And I could just watch the dynamics during rehearsal and open rehearsal and performances with them and the conductor, which was Seiji Ozawa for us at the time, or John Williams with the Pops. And I just observed that when I was young, but I've never played in an orchestra. So I had to, I'm still taking I'm taking a course through ThinkSpace in England online, and it's orchestration. And they create a lot of classes for film score composers. So I'm really learning a lot about that. And I've been buying a lot of software, a lot of instruments. My husband's not, a little nervous about that. But man, is there some amazing things out there. And then I get to just play with it here.
Amazing. So here you were in 1970, skipping down the streets. And it was like this whole world was going on. Fast forward a few decades. Barbara Brennan used to teach us that all healing is coming home to the South. What we're hearing is you have always known who you are. And this is what's so beautiful about life. Like, you're also investing in your art. You're also, working with your neuroplasticity in the brain. You also mentioned that, right? And geez, I think I opened something in my brain, and suddenly, right, here's the right person saying, I see you. I would like for you to be a part of this. You're so inspired that suddenly, Dan, right, is Solace.
Yeah, that came about because of these VSTs. I had downloaded a cello sound by Tina Guo, the famous cellist. She plays a lot with Hans Zimmer as well.
Yep.
And that's what you're hearing on Solace. But it's funny, I was showing this to a musician friend of mine who has inspired me so much in both art and music. And she thought, oh, did she play it and write it for you? And then you just put it down. I said, no, these are her sounds, but I play it on the keyboard. And then I have this little thing. Let's take my nuance. And so my left hand plays this. And what it is an expression. So as I'm playing with my right hand, my left hand is either making it go more vibrato or more intense or less intense. So sometimes you can't do that on the keyboard. So you use this to do that. So my right hand's doing this and my left hand is, so I'm actually playing the bow like I think she would be playing. And you can do that with the horn lines and with the violins and all kinds of instruments. It's really, so you can humanize it.
You have all that experience in the orchestra and watching and observing, and now you're doing that in the studio in your own way.
Yeah.
You see, for our audience, nothing is ever in vain. No matter what path we've walked, we will always integrate that which we are, that which we have done. And this is an astounding example of that. Thank you for sharing. Dan, you were going to ask?
No, I was going to say, it's fabulous that with those VSTs like that, we can get all the articulations. So we can have and I mean, like you said, every draw of the bow across a string or different articulations on a horn or a reed instrument, they have such a wide variety of them to be able to sit in your studio and come up with that and really bring out what you actually hear. And it can be inspiring, right? It's like getting that new piece of technology. For me, more playing bass, it's like getting a new pedal that does something different, and all of a sudden it inspires a new piece or a new way to approach something that maybe you wouldn't have thought of before. So it's sort of art inspiring us, inspiring art, and it's this ladder of like, oh, now I'm just scoring a film now. Okay, that's what I do.
Yeah, those articulations, that's exactly it. The ones I use from Spitfire. There are so many pizzicato, staccato, all these swells, and so I just put my hand, this is how I start, is I just close my eyes and I meditate, and then I just get my hand on the keyboard and I hear a chord and it starts from there, and it could be an instrument that I decide, that, or and then went, and then I can hear a song. It's like play. It's like being
You are like a
fun. It's just
It is.
exploring, you know?
Yes.
Look at you, Bernadette. You are living your best life. And you know what? You're being true to yourself. We can see you lit up. We can see the divine pleasure because you're in the sandbox of life, just doing what you love to do and making magic. And here you are going to a film festival, which is scored by you, the composer. My gosh. So
Yeah.
tell us about Solace a little bit because we want the viewers and listeners to hear about this inspiration. And then we hear tell that you're going to give us a little demonstration of some sound healing again.
Yes, I will. Yeah, a simple one because I'm not at my other space, but I will have 2 bowls that I will do a meditation for you. So Solace came about. I finished the film score in October and sent it off to them for them to, do all the stuff that they need to do to edit and stuff. And I hadn't been watching the news much. So in October, I started absorbing what was going on in the world, in our country. And I was just devastated. I just felt a lot of grief and a lot of sadness. I didn't know how to get that out. It was actually stunning. I knew I was reading about the news. I just wasn't watching the pictures. I wasn't watching the videos because I really needed to protect my head when I was making this film score. And that's how Solace came out. I cello piece, but what I did was I played the chords first on the piano. I just had to just lay some chords, and this is a velvet piano from Olafur Arnolds. He just created these sounds. He'll put felt around the hammers of the piano so that they're softer. So I got that, and I started just playing these like suspended fourth type of chords. That suspended fourth is, it doesn't feel like it's resolved. It just kind of is just tapping. So I just repeated that over like a mantra, just kind of like playing that. And then I came back and put the cello in and just started playing with this thing and my keyboard. And what you hear is the initial play that I did. It just poured out, and then I cleaned up some stuff in there. But it was really from that moment. I didn't know what I was going to play. I didn't even know, I wasn't even sure what was going on in my head, but that's what came out. And
it is magnificent.
Thank you. And then I added the bass line. So it's only 3 instruments. It's just piano. And my music is considered electronic music because there's no real person playing this. But it's kind of like a blueprint for live musicians to use to play. I can I have this notation. And so my dream is to finally hear maybe high school students or college students playing it and maybe feeling that they're moved by the way I express that cello. And if they can learn that, and feeling it in their body, like have a somatic experience with it. So that's my dream, is that people could actually play this.
Well, we can attest to the power of it because to prepare for you, we put up that beautiful cover that we just saw, and Dan played us. I was like, wow, listen to that cello.
Yeah.
That's stunning. It's just so inspiring and open, and like all possibilities are available and endless over that horizon. So thank you very much for that. Now, we want to make space for you to share with our audience and some of what you do in the moment as a world-class sound healer. And folks, you want to go to BernadetteYow.com. She has albums that we have been using in trainings for healers and therapists for years, as well as just in one-on-one healing sessions. I know people that use it for massage. I was there they were playing it while you were watching an entire ballroom of healers.
That was amazing.
Wasn't that something? I got you on video on that one. You were just
so sweet to do.
We would love to just hear some of the magic that you offer and tell us a little bit about the bowls that you've chosen for us.
Well, first of all, with the Solace, when you listen to it, I kind of tell people that I made this as a quiet space for us to process the feelings that come up, especially with things happening in the world right now. I know a lot of people are feeling trauma and confusion and maybe sadness and anger. And I just thought, if I can keep writing these pieces and offering this and saying, take a deep breath, close your eyes, listen to this, breathe in all the way down to your elbows and just really, deep breath, hold it, and then exhale through your mouth, and do that a few times. And maybe even some somatic movement, some gentle rocking and swaying while you're listening to this and trying to digest the sadness or the anger that the music brings up. I even suggest journaling afterwards. The music, when you stop, just give yourself like 5 minutes, take a journal and just write what comes up for you. Another way to listen to Solace is vocal toning. Maybe you feel like you want to hum or just exhale the sounds, like that kind of thing. It helps with the vagus nerve, and it just helps with moving that energy, right? When you're listening to that.
Folks, that is the ultimate sound healing directive. That's
And
it. Record it right there. You can do that and listen to Solace. What's beautiful about that is not only will it help you personally, folks, but to share that. You have a dream of inspiring others, Bernadette, and certainly this is a piece that does so. So check that out on BernadetteYow.com. Solace. You saw the cover. The sounds it really is very moving. And now we're going to hear from the master herself.
I'm picking out 2 bowls for you today. This one, they're all alchemy crystal singing bowls from Crystal Tones in Utah. So they're quartz crystal, but they're infused with precious metals, gemstones, and crystals. This is a gorgeous one. It's for the intuition, and it's Mount Shasta Serpentine Sedona Red Rock Mother of Platinum that's infused.
Is that all? I mean, you think they could have.
And no 2 bowls are the same, because it's all that alchemical, whatever they do. It's like secret. So I don't know how they do this. And then this one, this is, it's in D, so it's for the sacral chakra. And, it's a green heart aura gold. That's what it's called. So this has 18 karat gold in it. So it's quartz crystal infused with 18 karat gold, and it comes in this gorgeous kind of green aqua color.
They were not dialing it in when they were creating these bowls, were they?
I'll be playing both of these bowls and toning for a little bit.
Don't drive, pull over, as Dan would say.
Yes.
And let the sound and music wash over you. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy Bernadette Yow.
So just closing your eyes. If you're sitting, feeling your feet on the floor. If you're lying down, just noticing your breath. Breathing in and out through your nose, or breathing in through your nose and exhaling through your mouth. Maybe do a few deep cleansing breaths. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4. Holding it, 2, 3, 4. And exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now just noticing as you're breathe in and out the rise and fall of your tummy, just relaxing your belly, relaxing the jaw, relaxing your neck, relax the forehead as you continue to gently breathe. And if you have an intention that you would like from this session, this healing, you can think about it for yourself right now, quietly. Holding it in your heart. And then we're going to breathe together, and we're going to make the tone ah, and send out our prayers, our intentions out into the universe. I would like to send out shifting from fear to love, which I learned from my mentor, Donna Evans Strauss. I think it's so important right now that we know we're feeling fear, and we need to shift to love in order to find unity and peace with one another. So, holding that prayer in your heart, and when you're ready, let's breathe in and just sound the ah sound together. Breathe in make a sound. Now just gently close your eyes if you feel it's all right to do so, and just take in the sounds of the bowls and my voice.
So if you're curious about the term sound healer. I think we just learned what that means.
Wow.
Thank you.
What the, geez. Oh, the parasympathetic has kicked in.
Are we supposed to speak now?
What are these words? I don't see any words. Wow. But friends, listen, BernadetteYow.com. Solace, you've got beautiful albums from which you've already had out to choose from, more coming. You've got this film coming out, premiering March 27th, The Flower Keeper, for which you composed the score for. That was beautiful. Thank you.
And what a beautiful example of just connecting with your own heart and soul while you're offering to others and creating a magnificent soundscape as the composer extraordinaire. Folks, if you want to, really enhance what you're putting together as a documentary, as a short film, whatever that is, BernadetteYow.com. And she is doing this. She is doing the composing thing as you always have, Bernadette. We got to watch that live and in person. What a sound healing. Thank you for showing our viewers and listeners what that is. It's so beautiful. I feel such grace and opening. And Barbara Brennan would say the quickest way to support someone opening isn't just channeling sound, it's through sound healing, it's through toning. Toning helps someone to open 10,000-fold, as we learned from her, right, Bernadette, back in the day?
So just humming is so easy to do. Anyone can do it, and trust it. Humming, activating your voice, and things will start to open up for you. It's such a healing thing to do, and it's so simple that we forget. And deep breathing too. It's right here. We all have it.
We're all sound healers. Yeah. Congratulations on the film, The Flower Keeper. That's going to be previewing in beautiful Palm Springs, California. And really looking forward to hearing more. Thank you for blessing us by being on Energy Diagnostics podcast once again. Thank you, Bernadette.
Thank you, Joy. Thank you, Dan. It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Hey everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Joy and I really appreciate it. Hey, if you're liking our content here, please make sure you like, follow, subscribe on your favorite platform to make sure you, stay up to date with all the latest and greatest we put out here at Energy Diagnostics Podcast.
That's right, Dan. And if you're liking our content, folks, please feel free to share so others may enjoy the benefit of the wisdom our guests are offering.
Thanks so much and be kind to each other out there.